From room lighting to improve your contrast to the best setup for stress-free gaming, here are 5 life hacks to revolutionise your gaming time. We spend an awful lot of our time playing games, and that's no bad thing. I've done plenty of videos on just how good it is for you to dive into your favourite Battle Royale titles or to venture into immersive worlds with only a dog in a sidecar for company. But it's also important to note that as busy human beings with about 1 billion other things to do, that we need to maximise the time we spend at our PCs. And this video is about exactly that, to make sure that you're making the most of the time that you dedicate to your favourite titles. So, here are 5 life hacks to revolutionise your game time. First off, it's time to talk about your own personal space. Not just in general, as important as that is, but your gaming space. If you don't have a dedicated area just for settling down to your favourite games, perhaps it's time to think about it. When it comes to the ultimate gaming setup, it's all about finding what's right for you peripheral-wise. Do you want to go wireless? Do you need space for a wheel or just a keyboard and mouse? Do you want to be able to program macros, so need a keyboard that can do that for you? So many decisions, but once you've made them around what's right for you, it turns out that once you've chosen your setup, you'll actually perform better in games. I'll get on to why we operate better in clean spaces in my next point, but making your own workspace has actually been found to make you more productive. In a study from 2010, it was discovered that office workers who were given the opportunity to design their own desks were 32% more productive than those who weren't given this control. Move this to gaming with your choice of surroundings and specific tools for the job, and your own setup should increase your happiness exponentially. You can even improve your working from home this way too. And finally, we're not just being biased, but it turns out that the colour blue might help you creatively too. This article on Research Digest has found that the colours around you actually influence your productivity and mood. Red is apparently better for tasks that require attention, and blue provokes what the piece calls an exploratory motivational state conducive to creativity. Okay, so you've got your dedicated gaming space, be it hidden away in a study or in a room where you like to share oxygen with other human beings. And maybe you've even painted the room blue. How nice. You've got your chair, your peripherals, your monitor. Oh, wait, why is everything everywhere? While you could game with cables snaked across surfaces like Indiana Jones's nightmare, boxes, wrappers and crumbs all over the place, it's actually psychologically better for you to have everything organised. While Marie Kondo has been teaching us about the joy of minimising clutter, the science behind why we love everything being just so is fascinating. Incredibly, scientific research at the University of Southern California, check out the link in the description, has proven that clutter actually creates higher levels of the stress hormone cortisol. Mess actually makes you anxious, and that's not ideal for when all you want to focus on is the already stressful enough metro exodus. Decluttering our gaming space, then, is vital for us to feel mentally rested before we head into any virtual worlds. Even if everything is literally on fire in The Sims or Cities Skylines has actual tornadoes, we can be content with the fact that we used a USB Hoover and got rid of all those pesky crumbs. And finally, if you want your desk and gaming area completely organised, you're probably going to end up with handfuls of wires that you normally leave plugged in for no reason. In this new world though, where you need everything to look like it could go straight onto Instagram, might we suggest tidying those away? Alternatively, you could always invest in a wireless Pro. Just saying. Food doesn't feel like a life hack, does it? It feels more like a life necessity, which it definitely is. However, when it comes to the best food to match with your game time, there are some specific eats that will make your time at your desk all the better. And no, that's not doing what Matt does and drinking mead while you play Skyrim. Sorry.
We got rooms and food. Drink too. I cook. Ain't much else to tell.
Whatever you're playing, you need to be constantly as focused as possible. Whether you're platforming, puzzling, or in the midst of Destiny's Gambit mode, you categorically need to be the top of your, well, game. And that means energy and nutrition for peak brain performance. But what should you eat? Here's the bad news. Those energy drinks you've been glugging have to go straight in the trash. While you definitely need energy for playing, what you need is the slow release version, not something that will shoot you into a caffeinated, sugary stratosphere and drop you like a hot potato after an hour or two. Oh, and no potatoes either. Sorry.
So, how are you holding up? Because I'm a potato.
Nutritionist Robin Furatan, in this Forbes article on the diet for a marathon gaming session, says that the type of energy we need doesn't come from carbs. White flour, rice, potatoes and high sugar items are all out, as they'll make us sleepy instead of sharp. Oh, and we need lots of water too, so make sure you've always got a supply at that perfect desk that we set up earlier. In terms of what we can eat then, it turns out that fruit and vegetables have the answer. And as any healthy eating regime will tell you, protein isn't bad either, so don't bin those tasty shakes. When it comes to gaming snacks though, salads aren't exactly pick-upable, so a good solution is to get all your favourite ingredients into a wrap, and you can even eat as you play. Delicious. Now it's time for some bright ideas when it comes to your lighting setup. Okay, fine, I promise that's the puns out of the way for now. We've all felt the familiar burn of too much screen time. Even if the rest of you still wants more sweet loot in The Division 2, sometimes it just feels like your retinas are melting after glaring intently at a screen and forgetting to blink. So what do you do if you don't want headaches and sadness if you're settling down to a long session? The answer is remarkably simple, and it's what's known as bias lighting. To understand exactly what it is and how it helps, it's probably best to look at why we suffer from eye strain in the first place. As explained in this How to Geek article by Jason Fitzpatrick, our eyes hurt when we sit in a dark room in front of a bright screen. This is down to the way that our eyes perceive light. They don't adjust to the average level of brightness displayed on screen, but instead look at the brightness across our entire field of view. This causes serious problems as 1, we're not getting an accurate contrast on screen as there's nothing else to compare it to, and 2, our eyes will become fatigued by this sole bright area. The way to counter this then is to up the light in your surroundings, but not in a way that will cause glare or other discomfort. One of the best places for new lighting then is actually behind your screen, where you can see it, but it's not shining directly into your eyes or onto the screen. This will instantly improve the contrast that you'll suddenly see. Fitzpatrick uses this optical illusion as an example. That grey bar in the middle is actually all the one colour, but thanks to the background colours, our eyes perceive it in a certain way that makes it look darker than it actually is. So, set up lighting behind and around your monitor in a way that doesn't cause glare. Yes, that works with RGB keyboards and of course LightSync speakers, and you'll get less eye strain as you won't be squinting in the dark. And you'll even get better contrast from your monitor to boot. It's also important to remember that for peak eye health, it really helps if you look away from your monitor for 20 seconds every hour and focus on something else. No, not your phone. So finally, we've looked at everything around you when you're playing, but let's get a little more existential and take a look inside. No, not that close. Now, unless you've invested in a treadmill and VR setup, when most of us play games, we're sitting still for long periods of time. Don't worry, I'm not about to tell you to go outside, but there are definitely some things that you can do to try and avoid seizing up. Given that our hands and wrists are also brilliant for doing other things than being poised over a mouse and keyboard, it's good to keep them in shape. Think about how you feel after a few hours at your desk. Regardless of the comfort of your chair or the ergonomics of your mouse, your body's going to get uncomfortable staying in the same position. We're all friends here, so it's time to talk about stretching. Yep. Stretching. Moving your hands, wrists and arms during and after gaming will immediately make it easier to play longer without any cramps or pain. Stretch muscles slowly every so often and even keep your core together occasionally, and you can keep your body happy. So no, you don't just have to play Beat Saber forever to keep your arms moving. Other ways of exercising during gaming could mean cycling at your desk with a foot bike or even standing to play. Even taking the odd loading bar as a chance to stretch your legs and stand up will mean the world of difference when you wake up the next morning and don't feel like you've been literally crawling around in sewer tunnels all night. So that's 5 life hacks to revolutionise your game time. Let us know if you've got any advice or tips for us in the comments below. Drop us a like if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to Logitech G for more videos just like this one. If you do already subscribe, which we really appreciate, hit that notification bell to make sure that you know when our next video lands.